game is finished. It's 2-0 to Tottenham. 100% record in pre-season so far. 1-0 against MK Dons. 2-0 in the first game of the tour against Auckland. And no goals conceded yet for Tottenham Hotspur. It was a very much a similar side to what we saw in the second half against MK Dons, and a very young side. And I thought they did very well. I thought they did very well in the first half, controlled the game for the most part. You know, in the early stages of the game, I thought, you know, there are a couple of harsh chances there for Auckland, but yeah, on a number of occasions they fluffed their lines, and you know, Spurs got it away. But for the most part, for the opening 45 minutes, Spurs were well in control. Archie Gray, I thought, was running things from the middle of the park. You know, it was a fantastic performance from him. He was captain on the day, most experienced player for Tottenham in the first half. And yeah, there was a number of really good performances out there in the first half. You're looking at Manor Solomon. I thought he was a threat down that right-hand side, always showing the ability to take on his man, get balls in the box. On the left-hand side, you had Mikey Moore and Williams Barnett in the 10 kind of working together. And I always felt they were kind of getting crowded out the game. You could see every time they got the ball, the instruction was get 2 men on them, get 3 men on them, and it always made it a difficult job for them. I thought Luca Williams-Barnett handled that pressure a little bit better than Mikey Moore, but still Mikey Moore was able to wriggle away a couple of times and be a threat throughout the game. So I wouldn't say it was bad performances from them. From Mikey. I think it was a decent performance, just it was a very hard one for him. Luca Williams-Barnett, though, showing his class once again. His ability on the ball is just phenomenal and scary at times. The way he takes it around players with ease. You know, his first touch is to die for. He really does remind me at times of Adel Tarab, and the way that he can take the ball and just quickly on the half turn get it round his man. So I thought Luca Williams-Barnett once again put in a really competent display. So like I said, very controlled. And that goal, I think both goals that we scored were of, you know, really good quality. With the first goal that we scored, Archie Gray, with that pinpoint Pirlo-esque ball that found Manor Solomon. Manor Solomon's shot was saved by the keeper, and the keeper parries out, and Dane Scarlett was there to poke it home. And I think with Dane Scarlett, you know, I thought his involvement in the first half wasn't that much, but what he does do, he works so hard for the team, always pressing, always hassling, always harrying. He was dropping deep to try and get himself into the game at times and got his goal. So you got to give Dane Scarlett a lot of credit for what he did on the pitch today, and I thought he got better in the second half as well in terms of that work rate. Jamie Donnelly put in a much better performance, I felt, in this game than he was in the first game against MK Dons, because against MK Dons, I just felt he didn't perform. He didn't perform, and he just kept losing the ball in kind of tough situations for Spurs and putting us under a lot of pressure. In this game, he snuffed that out of his game completely, and I thought he was a constant threat in Auckland's side, and he was getting on the ball, showing his passing ability. His set pieces were pretty decent as well. Had a shot from about 35 yards with the keeper, had to make a good save for. So I think Jamie Donnelly, much better from him today. And, you know, special mention has to go to the guys in the back line once again, because, you know, Auckland were kept at bay for the majority of it. And Malachi Hardy, you can see maybe the influence that maybe Romero or maybe it's ZERBI telling him in the instruction what he's doing. But every time he gets the ball, his first thought is, how can I progress this ball? How can I hurt the opposition? How can I get that ball forward? And he did that the majority of times he got the ball. Kota Takai, I thought he looked good at centre-back, keeping things simple, keeping things ticking, moved over to right back in the second half. And the fullbacks in Tai Hall and Kai Maratin, I thought, again, carried on their good displays from the first half as well. And then you move into the second half, and I thought, you know, there was no changes at half-time, which I was quite surprised about. And I thought Auckland probably came out the better of the two sides at half-time, and it was a bit of a lull period in the game, kind of, for Spurs anyway, in the opening 15, 20 minutes of that second half. And then the changes came out. Yan Min Hyuk came on for Jamie Donnelly. Conor Gallagher came on for Luca Williams-Barnett. MATHYS TEL came on for Mikey Moore. Richarlison came on for Scarlett. Davis came on for Kai Maratin and Matheus Fernandes came on for Archie Gray. And you could see straight away the renewed energy in the team. MATHYS TEL was by far the best player on the pitch for the moments that he was on the game. He was constantly taking on his man, constantly a threat. It was his assist that got the goal for Richarlison as well, which was probably one of his first few touches on the game. But it was MATHYS TEL that was really the one taking the game to Auckland. You can really see, I think, he's got a big point to prove. A massive point to prove for Roberto De Zerbi, with De Zerbi even saying in the press conference we need to bring in more forward players to complete the transfer window. So MATHYS TEL, he's got a point to prove, and I think he's trying to do that. Obviously, it's not the same level of opposition as what we're going to see in the Premier League, but you can only do what you can do with the players that's in front of you. And every time he gets the ball, he's constantly a threat. So you've got to give MATHYS TEL massive credit. I thought Conor Gallagher as well was working well in tandem with MATHYS TEL. His pressing and his work rate and his effort and desire was there for all to see. He was getting in behind. He was also another threat, in Auckland's side. Richarlison didn't really do much, to be honest, but he got the ball in the back of the net. So you've got to give him credit. There was a couple of moments where, his pressing saw Spurs on the attack and saw Spurs create some dangerous situations. And I was looking at Ben Davies as well. Ben Davies, his ball playing ability, I thought was fantastic today. He was pinging the ball about like it was nobody's problem today. And Matheus Fernandes showing his quality as well. So you saw the team and the quality levels up massively when those changes happened. And Spurs even could have got a third goal right at the end with Richarlison and that great pressing I was telling about, and Tyrese Hall just millimetres away from getting that third goal for Tottenham Hotspur. So, yeah, I think a good exercise all round. Spurs carry on the winning start to pre-season. Next up is Sydney FC out in Australia. They play 10:45 on Wednesday morning, so you know exactly where to get the watch long. Will be here. Hopefully Sim will be with me. If not, maybe someone else will. But looking forward to that one. I think you'll see probably more of a usual Spurs team with a few less of the younger players. I think the more established first team players you'll see, and I'm very much looking forward to that, seeing maybe Maddison might get back into the team. You'll see probably Tonali and Matheus Fernandes back in the side as well. And I'm excited to see more of MATHYS TEL, to be honest, because the more kind of higher level opposition that we play, the more he's going to be tested. So maybe that's more relevant to the Chelsea game that comes next weekend. But look, all good things, people. Spurs back to winning ways. 2 wins in pre-season, no goals conceded. So far, we've got goals for Matheus Fernandes, goals for Richarlison, and goals for Dane Scarlett as well. So let me know your thoughts in the game in the comment section below. It's hard to take too much from the game because it is just pre-season. You've got to look at the level of opposition that we're playing as well. But, once the dust settles and, the time factors or the jet lag factor doesn't come an issue, it's good to see these first team players out there. But for today, it was very much a young team, an academy team, and it was good to see them, to be honest. So big up to all of you for joining me today. I've just seen a couple of super chats come in, and bloody hell, Brendan, bloody hell. So generous. What is that all about? Just seen a massive super chat come in from Brendan. So I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for that. And people are saying maybe we should put that towards Spurs' transfer window. It doesn't look like we need to be fair, with the amount Spurs are spending. But big up to you, Brendan. Much appreciated. And Jared Campbell with the member chat for 10 months. And he says, to be fair, that was a very rough rugby pitch. And Nick Weiss says, buy an effing striker. Solanke is a bum. Sporific says, TEL looks revitalised, giving us second options on the left wing. Solomon is so direct, a.k.a. Aaron Lennon-like. And Luca Williams-Barnett looks like a good rotation option for the cam. And yeah, I mean, Luca Williams-Barnett, we've spoken about the kind of 10 situation going into next season with Maddison coming back from the ACL, no minutes in pre-season as of yet. You're looking at Javi Simmons not going to be back for a long time. So there is a creative void in there. So could they use Luca Williams-Barnett, particularly for the first half of the season before Javi Simmons comes back? And yeah, I do get that comparison between Manor Solomon and Aaron Lennon. They do have a very similar running style. And I think Manor Solomon has done himself well, to be honest, in this preseason so far. But I think you could see the levels between him and MATHYS TEL when MATHYS TEL came on the pitch. Niesk says, just come on, you Spurs. And Ropete, member for 52 months, says, TEL showed out big time why the TED talk about bringing in a winger. Yeah, so that's it for today, people. I want to thank you all for joining me. We'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.